Every morning, the person in your mirror looks almost exactly the same. Yet beneath your skin, countless tiny changes are quietly accumulating. Cells become damaged, repair systems slow down, and tissues gradually lose their strength. Your hair may turn gray. Your skin begins to wrinkle. Your muscles, bones, and senses no longer work quite as they once did. But why can the human body build itself so perfectly, yet fail to maintain itself forever? Is aging simply years of damage piling up? Or was the body never shaped by evolution to remain young indefinitely? Could our need to survive, reproduce, and protect the next generation hold part of the answer? And if scientists understand why we age, could they help us stay healthy for longer? To answer that, we must travel deep inside the human body and far back into our evolutionary past. Aging does not begin on your first gray-haired morning. It starts silently, long before most visible signs appear. From birth, your body constantly builds, repairs, replaces, and reorganizes itself. Old skin cells fall away, while new ones rise beneath them. Damaged tissues heal after cuts, infections, and everyday wear. Bones remodel themselves, blood cells are replaced, and muscles adapt to movement for decades. This biological maintenance system performs remarkably well, but it is never perfect. Every breath, meal, heartbeat, and burst of sunlight creates a little stress. Most of that stress is harmless because the body quickly repairs it. Some damage, however, escapes detection or is repaired imperfectly. One tiny error usually changes nothing. Millions of small errors accumulating across decades can become important. Imagine an enormous city that never closes for maintenance. Roads crack, wires weaken. Machines wear down, and waste slowly accumulates. Repair crews keep working, but they cannot reach every problem immediately. The city still functions, although its systems become less resilient. Your aging body faces a similar challenge. At the center of many cells lies DNA, the instruction library of life. DNA guides cells as they grow, divide, repair damage, and perform specialized jobs. Yet DNA is repeatedly challenged by radiation, chemicals, inflammation, and ordinary metabolism. Cells possess sophisticated tools that detect breaks and correct many mistakes. Those tools prevent countless problems every day, but a small number of changes remain. Over time, different cells collect different patterns of damage. Some continue working normally, while others become inefficient or malfunction. DNA damage alone does not explain every part of aging. It is one member of a much larger biological team. Proteins also experience years of wear. These microscopic workers build structures, carry signals, digest food, and power chemical reactions. To function correctly, each protein must fold into a precise shape. Heat, chemical stress, and production errors can make proteins fold incorrectly. Young cells usually repair, recycle, or destroy these faulty molecules efficiently. With age, that quality control system can become less effective. Damaged proteins may remain inside cells and interfere with normal activity. It is like leaving broken equipment scattered across a busy factory floor. The problem is not one broken machine. It is the growing burden placed on the entire system. Inside most cells are mitochondria, often described as miniature power stations. They convert energy from food into a form cells can use. Mitochondria also help control stress signals, metabolism, and cellular survival. As years pass, some mitochondria become damaged or less efficient. Cells may then struggle to meet their energy demands. This matters greatly in organs that consume enormous amounts of energy. The heart muscles and brain depend heavily on reliable energy production. Mitochondrial decline can therefore contribute to weakness and reduced resilience. It does not switch aging on by itself. Instead, it interacts with many other forms of cellular stress. Another clue is found at the ends of chromosomes. These protective regions are called telomeres. They are often compared with the plastic tips that stop shoelaces from fraying. In many human cells, telomeres shorten whenever the cell divides. When they become critically short, the cell may stop dividing. This mechanism can help prevent severely damaged cells from becoming dangerous. But it also limits how long some tissues can renew themselves. Telomeres are therefore connected with aging, but they are not a simple countdown clock. Different tissues behave differently, and many factors influence telomere length. Simply lengthening every telomere would not automatically make a person young again. Some aging cells enter a state known as cellular senescence. They remain alive, but they permanently stop dividing. At first, this can be useful. Senescent cells help suppress damaged cell growth and can support wound healing. The immune system normally removes many of them afterward. As the body ages, some escape removal and begin to accumulate. These lingering cells release signals that can promote inflammation nearby. Healthy neighboring cells may then find it harder to work properly. A protective emergency response has gradually become part of the problem. Aging repeatedly reveals this kind of biological trade-off. Stem cells are another part of the repair system. They can produce new cells for blood, skin, muscle, and other tissues. But stem cells also experience damage and environmental stress. Their numbers or activity may decline in some tissues with age. Repairs become slower, and recovery from illness or injury can take longer. This helps explain why the same wound may heal differently at 20 and 70. The genetic instructions may still be present. The body simply cannot coordinate and execute them as effectively. Aging is therefore not only about broken parts. It is also about weakening communication between those parts. Cells constantly exchange chemical messages with their neighbors and distant organs. Hormones coordinate growth, appetite, reproduction, sleep, and energy use. Immune signals warn the body about infections and injuries. With age, some messages become weaker, noisier, or mistimed. Low-level inflammation may remain active even without an immediate threat. Scientists often call this age-related pattern inflaming. Persistent inflammation can slowly stress blood vessels, muscles, the brain, and other tissues. Meanwhile, the aging immune system may respond less effectively to new infections. The body can become both more inflamed and less precisely defended. That apparent contradiction is a major feature of aging. Even the way genes are used changes over time. Nearly every cell contains the same basic DNA, yet cells activate different instructions. Chemical tags and molecular structures help decide which genes are switched on. This system is called epigenetic regulation. As cells age, some of these patterns become less organized. A cell may gradually lose part of its specialized identity. Researchers can measure certain age-related epigenetic patterns as biological clocks. These clocks estimate biological age, but they do not fully define it. No single clock captures every organ or every aspect of health. Aging remains a network of connected processes, not one hidden timer. Those microscopic changes eventually become visible across the whole body. Skin produces less collagen and elastin, becoming thinner and less flexible. Years of ultraviolet exposure can accelerate spots, wrinkles, and other damage. Hair turns gray when pigment-producing cells decline or stop supplying color. Hair follicles may also shrink, producing finer strands or none at all. Muscle mass and strength tend to decrease unless regularly challenged. Bones may lose density as breakdown begins to exceed rebuilding. Blood vessels often stiffen, making circulation less adaptable. The lenses inside the eyes become less flexible, complicating close-up focus. Hearing may fade as delicate structures accumulate damage. The brain changes too, but aging does not automatically mean losing yourself. Processing speed and short-term recall may become slower. Knowledge vocabulary, judgment, and emotional regulation can remain strong, or even improve. Healthy, older brains often solve problems using experience and alternative neural pathways. Every organ ages at its own pace. Every person follows a different path. Why, however, would evolution allow any of this to happen?
Look at the flames. They keep us safe.
The answer begins with natural selection. Evolution does not design perfect organisms or plan for unlimited life. It favors inherited traits that help genes reach future generations. In ancestral environments, many individuals died from infection, injury, hunger, or predators. Fewer survived long enough to experience problems, appearing only in extreme old age. Natural selection, therefore, acted more strongly on traits affecting youth and reproduction. Harmful effects appearing much later were often selected against less strongly. Some late-acting genetic changes could remain in populations for this reason. Other traits may provide benefits early in life, but carry costs later. A powerful growth signal might strengthen development or reproduction when young. The same signal could increase wear, inflammation, or disease risk decades afterward. Evolution may preserve the early benefit despite the later cost. Scientists call this kind of compromise antagonistic pleiotropy. There is also a limit to how much energy any organism can spend. Energy used for growth or reproduction cannot simultaneously fund perfect, lifelong repair. Evolution shaped bodies to invest enough maintenance for reproductive success, not immortality. This idea is known as the disposable soma theory. Disposable does not mean that older people lack value. It describes an evolutionary energy trade-off, not a human purpose or moral judgment.
Hold it like
Humans
this.
are especially
Strike
interesting
here.
because we
Yes.
can live for decades after reproduction.
Good, you did it.
Wow, look!
Older adults can share food knowledge, protection skills, and childcare. Helping children and grandchildren survive may also support shared family genes. Cooperation made human survival much more than an individual race to reproduce. Evolution can explain why biological traits spread. It cannot decide what gives a modern human life meaning. A person does not need to reproduce to live a valuable or purposeful life. Science describes how bodies evolved, not how people should choose to live. If aging has many causes, can anything slow it down? The honest answer is partly, but not completely. Genes influence longevity, disease risk, repair systems, and responses to stress. Environment and behavior also shape how those inherited tendencies unfold. Regular physical activity helps preserve muscle, bone circulation, balance, and brain health. A varied nutritious diet supports metabolism, without functioning as a magical anti-aging cure. Sufficient sleep gives the brain and body time to restore important processes. avoiding tobacco and limiting harmful exposure, reduce preventable cellular damage, vaccination medical care, and managing blood pressure can protect health across decades. Social connection and mental engagement are also associated with healthier aging. None of these habits freezes the biological clock. Together, they can improve the chance of remaining capable and independent longer. Scientists call this longer period of good health the health span. Health span is different from simply adding years to lifespan. Researchers are studying senescent cells' metabolism, immune function, and cellular reprogramming. Animal experiments have produced exciting results, but humans are far more complicated. A treatment that changes one aging pathway may create problems elsewhere. Claims of reversing human aging should therefore be treated with caution. For now, no approved therapy can stop or completely reverse human aging. Yet understanding aging may help delay disease and protect function for longer. Aging is not caused by one switch waiting to be turned off. It emerges from damage, imperfect repair, shifting signals, and evolutionary compromise. Every wrinkle records years of sunlight movement, emotion healing, and survival. Growing older is the price of inhabiting a living body that has endured time. We may never make that body permanent, but science may help more people remain healthier while their remarkable journey continues.